Star Wars: Rise of the Inquisitor, Chapter 2. We've entered the Mustafar system, Admiral. Your shuttle is ready for takeoff, and Grand Moff Tarkin awaits your arrival. Lieutenant Stahl told Admiral Visari, who stood looking out from the command bridge's viewport, hands folded behind his back. The hellish world of Mustafar burned a fiery red-orange, with oceans of lava glowing brightly against blackened spots on the planet's hardened obsidian surface. Very well, Lieutenant. Inform the Grand Moff that I will be landing within the half hour, the Admiral said as he turned around to walk into the elevator. And you will be accompanying me, he concluded. Yes, sir, he acknowledged as the two entered the elevator. The two officers boarded the Lambda-class shuttle with the captured Jedi and a squad of stormtrooper sergeants who wore black pauldrons on their right shoulders and flew down to the planet. The prisoner facility stood in place of where the old Separatist base stood, and was just as sinister looking, except with more of the classic Imperial flair that most structures of the Empire possessed. As the shuttle landed on the landing platform, an entire platoon of stormtroopers with blue markings flanked the landing ramp on both sides, with Grand Moff Tarkin and two sergeants standing in the center of the two columns. But something unexpected overtook Visari, a very cold and dark feeling. He tried to ignore it, but as he, Stahl, and the Jedi captive walked out of the landing ramp, he felt it grow more intense. Ah, Admiral Visari, my young friend. Welcome to Mustafar. I've heard you've brought me a prize, I presume. Tarkin greeted Visari, his hands folded behind his back. Indeed, sir, I have brought with me a Jedi renegade. But, with all due respect, Grand Moff, even though Mustafar is a smoldering lava world, I can't help but feel an overwhelming, cold sensation, Visari admitted, slightly shivering. As we suspected, Visari. Stahl's report had me believe you are more powerful than you realize. Therefore, I brought someone here that will eventually help you hone your skills, Tarkin said as he turned to signal a door to open behind him. To Visari's utter amazement and fear, a dark armored figure walked out of the doorway. He was unusually tall and had unmistakable black armor, helmet, and cape. His menacing, mechanical breathing echoed across the landing pad. It was no mistake to Visari. The man that now stood before him was none other than Darth Vader himself. You are Admiral Visari, are you not? Vader asked in his deep voice. Yes, Lord Vader. I am Admiral of the 62nd Imperial Fleet, Raiko Visari, my lord. Visari acknowledged nervously as he saluted quickly, his brow accumulating with sweat. There are reports that you possess the force power known as battle meditation. Now that I have finally met you in person, Admiral, I know the truth. I sense that you indeed possess powers far beyond your imagination. The dark side flows through you, and it is strong. Will you come with me to be trained as an Inquisitor of the Empire, to aid in hunting down the last remnants of the Jedi Order? Vader proposed. Inquisitor? Visari thought, his mind pondering over Vader's revelation. In the entirety of his career as an admiral, which wasn't long, he never thought in his wildest dreams that he would even meet Darth Vader, let alone live to tell the tale. Yet here he is, standing on Mustafar, being asked by the Dark Lord of the Sith himself to become an Inquisitor. Somehow he knew that destiny brought him here, and he could even sense it. He couldn't help himself but openly laugh, not at Vader's request, but at Visari's own chances of being Force-sensitive. Me? Become an Inquisitor? The Admiral continued to laugh in an evil tone. Your answer, Admiral Visari, I do not have all day, Vader complained, growing impatient. Realizing Vader's change in attitude, Visari quickly recomposed himself, and then he kneeled before Lord Vader, as if he expected to be knighted by the Dark Lord. My lord, forgive me for my sudden outburst of laughter. I never dreamt of this day, and I wish that I had. It is truly an honor to be recognized as someone who is powerful in the dark side. So my answer is yes. I will gladly train in the ways of the dark side, to become an Inquisitor of our glorious galactic empire. But, my lord, will I still have command of the 62nd Fleet? Visari questioned. After your training, Visari, the 62nd Fleet, among many others, will be in your command. Soon you will only answer to myself and the Emperor now, Vader commanded. An evil grin spread across Visari's face. More fleets under his command, answering only to the Emperor and to Vader? He still couldn't wrap his head around all of this, and he was giddy with excitement, but also somewhat fearful of the training that he would endure. Nevertheless, he was more than determined to undertake the training necessary to become an Inquisitor. He was now certain that it was his destiny to do so. Visari then had a flashback when he was 20 years old, about a year after the end of the Clone Wars. He remembered his father, Titus Visari, being promoted to one of the first Moffs, only months later to have his Venator boarded by a vicious Zabrak Jedi who was still at large. The dark side around him on Mustafar itself, and the power emanating from Vader fueled his anger, and he gritted his teeth in hatred. Your father was a respected Moff. Do you plan to avenge his death? Vader asked, sensing his anger in his thoughts. Visari then looked up to Vader and spoke. Indeed I do, my lord. Those Jedi traitors and their bands of rebels will burn, all of them. They will pay for what they have done, Visari growled, his teeth nearly cracking from gritting them. Good. Let your hatred for the Jedi fuel your wrath. In time, you will learn, as I have, to channel the dark side and annihilate your enemies. Tomorrow, the Grand Inquisitor will train you on Coruscant. He will be expecting you, Vader told him. As you wish, my lord. I will leave for Coruscant at once, Visari answered, lowering his head in acknowledgement.